What's going on, sports fans? Welcome back to KP&AC Media. We got some draft grades going for you today after having a few days of the NFL draft. AC, what's happening?
Oh man, just still coming off a fabulous draft day or days for the Cleveland Browns. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm ready to give some input on all the teams. So let's get into it, man.
Let's jump right into it. So, we have the Bengals jumping off here. We graded them first. I got them at a B minus. You got them at a D plus. Let's go ahead and take a look here, as you can see on the screen. Let's see their full draft breakdown here, and we'll just run through it real quick. So we got Jamar Chase at 5 overall. They got Carmen Jackson, the offensive tackle, Joseph Asaya in the 3rd round. And then they got Tyler Shelvin in the 4th. And then some other guys that most people aren't going to know anyway, so we won't go over them. And we'll just kind of break that down and why we gave each team that grade. What's up with the D plus? What you got?
So Jamar Chase, I'm sorry. Just the more I think about it, the less I like that pick. He's honestly my 3rd favorite receiver out of the big 3 that were coming out. Obviously Burrow, you got to protect them. I would have much rather them seen them take a left tackle in that spot. I thought there was great depth at wide receiver later on in the rounds. So then they get to 38 and I'm like, okay, this is where they're going to take an offensive tackle, and they end up trading back, and then they end up taking a tackle at 46. Jackson Carmen, I believe it was. And I didn't hear much about this guy. He was ranked outside the top 100 of almost any big board I'd seen. So I just didn't love it. And that kind of set it up for me. Beyond that, the 3rd and 4th rounds, they did decent, but not a big fan of the Bengals overall and what they did. And that's really the Jamar Chase thing just kind of set the tone for me. D plus.
D plus. I got you. Yeah, the Carmen Jackson one was a little strange. I did read the reason I got him at a B minus. I liked the Tyler Shelvin pick. I thought that was good value in round 4. The more I read about him, good run stopper there, and so they got him deep. They solved the need with the edge rusher round 4. Again, is he going to be a starter? We really don't know. And then Joseph Asai, I thought was great value though there. Thought that was their best pick in round 3. I mean, I think we both might have had him at the 1st round or beginning of the 2nd round originally.
Right.
So I thought that was good value. And then Jamar Chase, I agree with you. I would have went with Penei Sewell there. I would have protected Burrow. So I agree with you on that. But I think Jamar Chase is going to be a good player. So I got him at a B minus. Not too bad. They could have done some things different, but it is what it is.
I respect it.
Yeah, respect.
Put some respect on it.
Respect on it. We got the Bills next here. I got him at a C. You got him at a B.
I got him at a B. Yeah, go ahead and give me that C.
You want that C?
I want that C. I want to see what you got going on over there.
All right. So I got round 1. I like the Rousseau. I thought that was fine. And then that's about all. So I got him like average, he was fine. It's good value there. But then the rest of the guys, I'm not too big. They got 2 big offensive tackles. I mean, the one of the tackles might be okay, but you don't know. They're both, I think 6'8", I read. They're both massive tackles.
They're big boys, yes.
Yeah, so they're both massive tackles. And then the rest of the guys, again, when you get to that 6th, 7th round, me, you, and honestly, probably Todd McShay, Kuiper. I don't think any of them know who those names are. And when you start getting to the 6th, 7th round, can you hit on one? Yeah, every once in a while. Does it usually happen? Not really. So I got him in a C. It was all right.
Yeah, after the 4th round, it's slim pickings. So I have Buffalo at a B. I'm with you on the Gregory Rousseau thing. I think it's all going to be dependent on him. He's got some concerns coming out, some red flags, and that's why I slipped. So if he can just come in, be healthy right away, perform, I think this could turn out well for him. They got another defensive end, Carlos Basham Jr., second round. So they're really trying to get those trenches built up. There's a lot of talent on that team. So I just think they're heading in the right direction. I did hear that Buffalo was trying to get up and get ETN. That was one of the things I heard in the first round.
Okay.
Just couldn't get it done. And I would have loved to see them get, a running back, because really that team is, if there's any team that's really missing kind of like that piece, Devin Singletary, he's just on the smaller end. He's not a 3-down back. I would have loved, and ETN, he's a little bigger, and I don't know if he's projected to be a 3-down back with the Jags, but I like him a lot more than had he not been on the team. But yeah, running back would have helped. Bill's solid pick.
Yeah, that's another reason I had them at a C, because of that. I think they should have addressed the running back spot. I think that was one of their biggest needs last year. When you watch them, they don't really have a lot of needs. I mean, their offense is pretty good. I mean, it's really good, and then their defense is set. So, one of those things. So I got them at a C, got them at a B. Not too crazy. We both were, I was a little bit down on it a little bit more. But again, I feel like one of those tackles if one of those tackles start for them, I think that it's fine. I think it ends up being fine. So
I think they got a good squad.
Yeah, they do. They have a good team overall. So then next we got the Denver Broncos, and I'm a little bit more down on them than you, it looks like. And I actually had them lower at first, but I changed it. I actually had them at a D to start, only because I was really upset that they would pass on Justin Fields. I think that was the guy there. I don't think that Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater are starting NFL quarterbacks. I think they're starters. I don't think they're franchise quarterbacks. So it's like, they're like, okay, there's a reason Bridgewater has a great year. I mean, he had a good year last year with Carolina, and they move on from him. I mean, it's
right.
There's reasons for that. Drew Lock, I coming out, we've talked about before. One of our buddies is a fan of them, and I told him when he came out I wasn't a big fan of him. So I don't think he's going to be any good, but I think they were comfortable with their quarterback situation. So that's why they went ahead. And I like the pick, to get to my point. Right. I like the pick of Surtain. I just thought that the need was more quarterback, because you don't win in this league without a quarterback. I thought that a running back that high at the second round, I think I know they lost Philip Lindsay. Again, that's something you can address, but I still think that running backs, I think you can address other needs that high in the draft. I think there's a lot of talent still there at 35. So I'm not, and a lot of people like Javonte Williams from North Carolina, but I just wasn't that high on him. I wasn't that high on the running back, is what I should say. That spot. Yeah. And then the rest is, again, you just don't know what you're getting. The rest, Browning, linebacker from Ohio State, he might be okay, but again, the rest of the guys, you just don't know. So I got him at a C.
I like it. Yep. I'm right there with you. I gave him a B, and really that's just going to be dependent mainly on the whole Rodgers thing. Like, I know right now that's just like, we don't know what's going on with that. Maybe they have some inclination as to a trade being more possible than we really believe it is. And maybe they just didn't take that quarterback there because they're thinking, hey, maybe we have a shot here. So that's really what that's dependent on. I agree with you on the running back situation. You got to wonder what it means for like Gordon. Is he going to get kicked out? Where's he at on this? Is he getting traded? I don't know. I didn't think they needed a running back there. I do believe Patrick Surtain's probably the best, defensive player in the draft. So I can't be upset with them for taking him. And then you're right. They just kind of Browning. I don't think he's a bad spot there at number 105 with Ohio State. So they're probably getting good value there. It's going to depend on Rodgers. I think if there is no trade for Rodgers, then I would say Denver Broncos probably didn't really have a great draft, because they didn't address their biggest need, which is quarterback.
Right. And I was going to say too, is if they do get Rodgers, my draft grade would go up probably to a B.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, then you aced it, because you got defensive help, you got a running back.
Yeah. So I think that's a good breakdown there. Then we have the one and only, our Cleveland Browns.
Ooh, you did him dirty. You did him dirty. All
A
right. So,
plus?
yeah, we both give him A pluses. Yeah. I'm looking at yours right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You got it.
All right, man. So obviously I'm excited about the Cleveland Browns here, man. They crushed it. I know for a fact Kamara was ranked one spot ahead of Newsome on their big boards. The reason that they took Newsome over Kamara when his pick was up at 26 is because they believed that linebackers were a little bit deeper on the back half and they could maybe find one. They did not expect it to be Kamara. I know that. So they had to take Newsome. Koromar starts slipping. He goes out of the first round. We're both in disbelief. Then second round comes around, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? This dude's sliding into the 30s, 40s. And that's when I started getting all the buzz like, hey, we're trading in. We had a trade set up for the 49ers, didn't go through. And then at 52, I heard that we had a trade set up with Carolina. It did go through, and we all knew right away that was our guy. So it's just amazing for him to fall to us at 52. And that was the guy that you and I wanted all along. Sorry, my voice is cracking there, but I got excited, like I'm hitting puberty over here talking about the Cleveland Browns. Yeah. So, and then it was Schwartz, like you don't know what's going on with OBJ. Schwartz is just world track speed. Like he's going to stretch the field. He's not going to be a 1 or 2, but he is going to be that guy that gets out there, stretches the field, can play special teams. I think that's a good pickup. And then some of these other guys we got, like Togaya, he was one that I know that they were going after. Like I got the text beginning of day 3, hey, this is a guy that we're going to try to pick up. So the fact that they did get him, and they even got him after an offensive tackle, yeah, they did good, man. Richard Lacani, he was another one that I had texted you. I said, hey, this is a guy that you need to look out for. We're going to pick him up. And I just, it amazes me. The Browns, like, they just knew their position. Andrew Berry was out here playing chess. He got his guys that he wanted. And man, I can't be mad at it. They did great.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. They hit a home run. They got an A plus. They're one of only 2 teams I gave A pluses to, and the other teams you have A pluses on. Dolphins. Looks like you have 2 as well. So Dolphins and the Browns.
Dolphins,
and I have the Dolphins at an A, so that's good as well. So yeah, for me to break down, it's obviously gonna be when they go to 52 and trade up for Koromoa. That's obviously the home run pick of the draft. I think for any team, honestly, everybody was sending him. Mel Kiper had no idea why he slipped. No, everybody was trying to find out why he was slipping, and there was no answer because there was no reason. Nobody wanted to deal with him. We talked about it. We think he might be a little bit of a tweener, but he'll fit our system perfectly fine. We'll take that.
Tweener's perfect for us because we're going to be playing those nickel and dime packages, and that's exactly what we want.
Yeah, we'll take him. I mean, definitely that trade up to the value to move back into the 4th. I mean, we moved back, I think it was 22 or 32 spots, whatever it was, just to get the value that we had here to move up 7 spots. So that's a home run there. Newsome, the more I read about him, the more I liked him.
Mm-hmm.
And you were on top of the Koromoa pick because I texted my buddy after you let me know, and he was sitting around. He told me eating dinner with his dad and said he was shocked because he as soon as the trade popped up on the board, he had already knew, and they were just in shock that we knew it that fast. So yeah, that was a great one. Schwartz, I think, will be good. I like the tackle in round 4 because again, you're just taking flyers in round 4 anyway. So to get some depth on offensive line is great. And then the defensive lineman from Ohio State, Tommy Tagai.
Yep.
That's fine. And then LeConte, my buddy's a big Georgia fan. He told me not to be too excited about him. He says he's got a lot of work to do, but he said he's okay. So. But again, That's what you get it. That's what you're getting in right in the 5th round. So, but again, they hit a home run. I mean, it's all these picks fit exactly what we needed, and we got them at the right time, the value. And again, if we do trade OBJ, the Schwartz pick is brilliant. So
Can be big for us. Yeah,
yeah,
I
that'd be
agree.
big for us. So we're both A pluses for them. I don't think that's bias at all because some people might think so, but I don't think it's
No.
bias at all because there's tons of people that have them at A plus.
Yeah, just about anything you read, they have the Browns up there. So, and
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. Those first two picks were they were home runs.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Definitely. And then we're on to the Chargers here. I got them at an A. You got them at an A. So we're both on the Chargers wagon here. And as you can see over to our left side of the screen here, you can see on the one half of the screen here that we got every pick. If you'd like to take a look here. So we have the Chargers take the first pick is Slater. So we both really like this pick, the tackle from Northwestern. And then another reason I gave him that A was getting Asante Samuel that late. And then Palmer's supposed to be good, the receiver, and this tight end from Georgia I hear good things about. So, and even the Rumpf, even the edge guy from Duke, I read some good things about him. So, and then again, once you start getting lower, you really don't know for sure. But I thought that was a great draft for them. They addressed all the needs that they have, and they'll throw in Josh Palmer there with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. They got that. They'll have a lot of weapons now for Justin Herbert. They've got another tight end now, which they needed to replace Hunter Henry. So
Right.
yeah, so I'm with that. I'm with the A with you as well. What'd you see from them?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Herbert just he's obviously a stud. Like nobody's seen that coming last year. He's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You put up Rashard Slater in front of him now, offensive tackle. Like I was telling you, and we both agreed. He was my second ranked offensive tackle, and I think that was pretty much everybody kind of believed he to be that also. Underrated wide receiver Josh Palmer. Quarterback Asante Samuel, his dad played in the league. A lot of people had him as a first round grade. So I think they did really well. Unfortunately for them, they play in the AFC West. They got to play the Chiefs twice a year. So at best, you're probably looking at a wild card team, but I think this team could do it. They're good.
Yeah. Those first 3 to 4 picks, I'm looking at them again, and it looks like they're drafting, and I think what we heard too is that the Browns are drafting to compete with Kansas City. So, and I think that's what every team's doing now, especially in the AFC. So, they go get a tackle, then they get a corner to go against Kansas City, and they get a receiver for some firepower. I mean, that's just what teams are trying to do now. And Mahomes is going to be around a long time. So,
Yep.
yeah. So we both had them at A. Then we're back. We're on to the Chiefs. Looks like we both got them at a B minus as well. What'd you see on the Chiefs draft day? They traded for Orlando Brown, I want to say. So they didn't have a first round pick. Isn't that right?
Yeah, no first round pick. Basically I gave him a B minus because I see them. They got basically two first year starters out of this. I think Nick Bolton, the linebacker out of Missouri, he's going to start. And I like Creed Humphrey center. They needed some line work. That was kind of their thing in the offseason. They needed to address their offensive line issues. I think they did a very good job of that in free agency. They're just a shoe-in, for the AFC title game. Like they're going to be there. They made some great picks. Where their weaknesses were, it seems like they approached and took those. So I really I like the pick, just not having that first rounder. I'm not going to give somebody, any more than a B for that, but Kansas City, B minus, tell me what you're thinking.
Yeah, I took into account the first round as getting Orlando Brown as kind of part of my grade. I probably would have had them lower, actually.
Okay.
I actually took it as getting Orlando Brown for that first pick because Orlando Brown's 25 and
Right.
he's a beast,
He's a
offensive
stud.
tackle. Yeah, so he's a starting offensive tackle for them for the next however many years because he's only 25. Got him from Baltimore. So I just took that into account just to play off of they had to give that up to get their tackle. So and then Bolton's going to be good, and then I think Humphrey's okay, and then the rest of the guys, you really don't know. But again, they didn't get as much value because they didn't have a first round pick. So
Right.
it is what it is. B minus, and again, Bolton. I think Bolton will be fine, but I would have maybe went looking more at corners, safeties for them. I know that might be a need as well for them. So, and the way they play, and they still have a couple good linebackers as well. So I
Yeah,
don't know. That's just one of those things. And then if Humphrey comes in and starts, though, I think it's fine. So yeah, B minus, which is still a fine grade. I mean, it's above
that's
average.
fine.
Yeah. Yep. So that's there. And then we're on to the Colts here. And let's see here. Indy. I got him at a C, you got him at a B. What'd you see with your B?
I did. So with the Colts, I wanted to dock them for drafting a Michigan player. Okay. I'm not going to do it, but I wanted to do it. So they take 2 day one starting defensive ends, Kwity Paye, Deo Edayungo. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I think we go to give me Dino.
And you also have DeForest Bunkner out there. So I just like that. It's like a revamped front seven. I like them. They got a safety, Sean Davis, out of Florida. He's going to help the back end of that defense. Nothing that blows you away, but I just think they had a really solid draft. Colts B.
Yeah, I'm with you what you said too. Nothing that really blows you away. And I gave him a C average. I mean, that's, I didn't see anything that I really liked, and I didn't see anything I really hated. I mean, I would have probably got some more help in the secondary if I was them as well. I mean,
Right.
I would have got some help there. Their offense seems to be okay. I think they probably could use a receiver. And I might have went receiver with one of those guys at the top. And maybe with that second round. I mean, because they get an edge with Paye, and he's raw, but I'm sure he'll be good. I think he was top 2 or 3 on everybody's board as an edge rusher. So I think that's fine. You got a tight end here in the 4th, and then like you said, Sean Davis. We'll see how those guys pan out, but I would have won a different position in round 2. I mean, after you get Paye, why you want edge again? That's kind of why I was like. I would give them the average there. I mean, and like you said, they got Buckner on that line, who's good,
Right.
really good player. So
I like their front.
Again, it's fine. And again, I gave him the C just because I do like Paye. I think he'll be a good player. So that's fine there. And then so we're on to the Dolphins here, who the consensus of them around the league is they had a really good draft. So I gave him an A. You gave him an A plus. Just because you gave the A plus, tell me why the A plus.
I was giving up to my boy Jay Chest. He's a huge Miami Dolphins fan, and he was texting me earlier. He loves them. That's him right there. He's excited. They get a stud in Jalen Waddle. They pair him up with Tua. They both played at Alabama. Then they take Jalen Phillips, middle of the 1st. I think he's a stud. And then they got 2 more picks. With round 2 and Javen Holland, is a tackle out of Notre Dame, Liam Eichenberg. So those 4 picks, I really liked them. I thought they hit home runs on all 4 of them, and I would say that they may have won the draft if all 4 of those guys pan out, and I think they will. So that's why I kind of gave them that A plus.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. I think that Jalen Phillips is a great edge rusher. I think he was probably the best in the draft. I like Holland. I like the safety they picked from Oregon. And then, they got the offensive line help at round 2 there. They addressed everything. I mean, they had a great draft. Now, I like Jalen Waddle. The reason I went A instead of A plus was, again, I probably would have went with Sewell here. I just think that protecting Tua is going to be a big deal, but I'm not mad at the pick either because I think that he needs somebody to throw the ball to. So, so that's fine. And he's probably was he definitely was the top 3, receiver in the class. So that's fine. I wasn't mad at that at all. And that's why I gave him an A. I think they did great. I think some of the later round picks could be good picks too. I think the Hunter Long, the tight end from Boston College, could be good. I know they still got Matt Gesicki there, but he could be a player as well. So I think they did well here.
Good.
So, yeah. So the AFC, moving right along here with the AFC. What you got?
I was just trying to turn my phone on vibrate here. Shefty, he's been texting me. So
yeah. Shefty.
Give me
tell him we're busy. You know what I mean?
to tell him, man, like, hey, just take it easy, dude.
Important
I
podcast.
he's doing his thing.
These people really don't know about the inside sources. I mean, like I said, my friends were blown away giving them the information before we even drafted guys for the Browns, having people sit in a war room,
Right. Hours before.
Right, right. So, All right, so we're moving all right along here. Jaguars. We got them here. I got them at a B. You got them in an A. Let's go here. I'll go my B first, and I'll tell you why. So here we go. I got them pulled up here. So Trevor Lawrence, obviously, home run. That was best player in the last how many years to come out. So that was easy pick there. And then I didn't like the next two picks that much. I think ETN is going to be okay. I think he might be good actually. Again, I'm not huge on running backs this high when you have a team that needs so much.
I'm with you.
The Jags still need a lot on. They need help on defense. They need people to help. Trevor Lawrence, and I think that maybe this guy will. And I think it'll be fine. Their offense will be fine. I'm not huge on him. And then Tyson Campbell from Georgia. I had a buddy text me, the same guy that's a big Georgia fan. He liked Stokes, who ended up going before him. And, that kind of shocked everybody in the first round when Stokes went at the end. And Tyson Campbell was still sitting there. And I said something to him. And he had told me before that he thought that he would take Stokes over Campbell. He just thought Campbell got beat too much. And he went top. I mean, and this is the thing. He went top of the first round. So, Meyer and those guys had a full day to even prepare to take him. I mean, so it was obvious that's who they wanted. It's just, I don't know. I think he's big. He's like an athletic freak. He just needs developed, So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. And then I like the offensive tackle they took. I like Cisco from Syracuse. I hear good things about him, the safety. So they hit that pick right there. And then you address some other positions in need as you go on. So I think it was fine. I mean, that's why I gave him the B just comes from I couldn't give him anything less than a B because they took Trevor Lawrence. I got the best player come out in the last 9 years. So can't really give him any less than that. But other than that, wasn't too impressed with some of their other picks. So we'll see how Urban Meyer and those boys are.
Love it, man. Yeah. So I gave him an A, and I was going back and forth on the ETN thing. And the more I was watching him, he reminds me of Alvin Kamara so much. And if he can be that, that's going to be such a dangerous squad. There's probably better value, but you're pairing up another teammate, with ETN, and then I don't know. I love it. I'm not upset at that at all. I'm really not. And the more I think about it, the more I like it. And I was with you on not drafting running backs in the first. It just happens. And I think he fell, and they picked him up. And I like it.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I think he's going to be a good player. I just think there's other things you can address there, other needs, but those two picks were my only question marks. But if he ends up being Alvin Kamara, is it a good pick? Of course, great pick.
Yeah, and they have James Robinson out there. That was one thing.
That's the other thing. I thought he did good. I thought he had a good year last year.
Playing on using James Robinson as that traditional back, and then bringing in ETN as that third down back.
Yeah,
but we'll see how that goes. By the middle of the season, it's no, we can't just sit this guy, till third down. So I think ETN will end up being the primary ball carrier.
Well, that reminds me, when you bring that up, that reminds me of us with Nick Chubb too. When we just sat him at the beginning, I think we had Carlos Hyde, and they just kept running Hyde. And every time Chubb would go in, he would bust a 60-yard touchdown. They finally are like, okay, maybe we should just play him more.
Yeah, Chubb was giving us all a Chubb back then, so you got to use them. Tyson Campbell, cornerback, Georgia. Walker, like you were talking about, the offensive tackle, 6'7", 313, definitely not a little dude. And then Jay Tufele out of USC. I know he was graded pretty high. The Browns liked him also, as far as defensive tackle. But yeah, that they actually had the dude we got over him. So, but yeah, Jacksonville A. I think they're on the right track.
Okay. Yeah, again, if ETN comes in and ends up being a beast, I mean that draft grade's definitely an A. So that's just that, and Campbell too. I mean those 25 and 33 are that's so high in the draft that you really hate missing on those picks. So if you miss
Dude.
those spots, that hurts your draft grade for sure, and it hurts your team. So,
Yeah.
but
If you feel like you got the best running back though in the draft, then go with it.
yeah, no, I'm not even totally against it. I just think with them, like you said, having James Robinson and also still needing a lot, their team still needs a lot. So
Right.
that was
Right.
that was the other reason. But hey, see how it works out for them. We're on to the Jets here, and it looks like we both got A's for them. Why don't you go ahead and break down the Jets? Right here they are. And
Yeah, so I think they got this one right. Zach Wilson. He wasn't my favorite quarterback at 2, but obviously has tremendous upside. They pick up the best guard in college football in Vera Tucker.
real quick, who'd you like over Zach Wilson? Who'd you like over him at 2?
I like Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields better at 2. That would have been my pick, but Zach Wilson, great upside, like I was saying. They back that up with the best guard in college football in Vera Tucker. Swing around the second, pick up Elijah Moore, who a lot of people were surprised even fell. And
Yeah.
then in the fourth, they picked up a good running back prospect, Michael Carter out of North Carolina. And then around 5, they picked up another Michael Carter. So I don't know much about him. Just funny, same name.
Michael Carter the second. He played for Duke. I think that's his older brother.
Yeah. So Jets A.
Jets A. Yeah, I'm with you on the A here. And the only again, I'll give you the reason it's not an A plus. I want to give him an A plus because I really like Zach Wilson because I do like him second on my list behind Trevor
Mhm.
Lawrence. I know
Mhm.
Steve Smith was hating on him the other day. He was like the only one on their draft panel that was like saying that he doesn't think Zach Wilson's going to be any good. With Joe Thomas and those guys, he was on that show, and Steve Mariucci and all those boys, but they're all like surprised that he would even think that he's not. But I just watched him throw, rolling out left, and just throwing it like 70 yards on a dime. I mean, I just think his arm strength is going to be, I mean, his arm strength is elite. I think he's going to be really good. And then I like Vera Tucker. And they moved back up into the first. They moved up in the first to get Vera Tucker. And I think that's a great move. They needed offensive line help. And, Sam Darnold in Carolina is probably crying out for help. Like, why didn't you get me this when I was here? So you have that idea. And then the reason I went A is Elijah Moore. Once again, I think he's going to be good. Mel Kiper, Elijah Moore was really high on his board. So,
Mhm.
so I think it's good. That's why I give him an A. I think it's good. I just think we'll have to see how some of these receivers pan out because there was a lot of receivers that
Right.
were projected to go top.
Jets need all the help they can get. So
Yeah.
A for them.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. And then we have the Patriots here. I got them in an A plus. You got them in an A. Let's pull
Yeah,
up
go ahead with your A plus there.
A plus. Well, first off, it's obvious the Mac Jones pick just fell right in their lap. I mean, they don't even have to move. I mean, I thought they were going to have to trade up to 8, give up another first. They don't even move. I mean, and they're sitting right there, and he just fell right into Bill Belichick's arms there. So that's a home run for them, I think. I think he's the perfect guy for their system. I think he was the best quarterback for their system outside of Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. So I think that just worked out good for them. And then Barmore's a beast from Alabama. Him falling to 38 is great. Great value for them. And
Mhm.
then, they got the edge rusher out of Oklahoma, Ronnie Perkins. Yeah, I think they hit a home run here at every pick. I mean, they got a running back, which they needed. They're going to need a running back at some point. Supposedly, they might let Sony Michelle walk soon. So,
As they should.
right, yeah, and I mean, as we know with Belichick and running backs, he rotates them so much anyway. So, getting one in round 4 probably be a guy that plays for them, just on the list of 7 other guys. So,
Right. Right.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's just Belichick. But my whole thing with Belichick is that he really like drafted that well. If you think about it, like I just think he's overrated as like a draft guy. Like he got lucky in Tom Brady. That's my take. Okay, that's my hot take. He got lucky.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks he's like this genius.
Everybody passed on him for 6
Picking
rounds.
great players. Yeah, and it's not true. Like he reminds me of like Warren Buffett. Like we all idolize Warren Buffett. The dude's barely outperformed the S&P 500 over the last 10 years. Like I'm not excited about it. Like I'm over Buffett. His discontent with Bitcoin, it's got me all upset. I'm going to cry. You don't even want to know. I'm saying like, we're saying that, okay? I don't know why I just went off on this tangent about Belichick, but like, I think he is the greatest coach ever. I do think they had a good draft. I did give him an A. Pick up Mac Jones at 15, like, it just fell to him. And that shit does happen in Belichick. He just
Yeah,
gets
it seems like
lucky.
he's the guy that happens to,
It
right?
just
It's like,
happens. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Or
Barmore fell to him
somebody gets
too.
hurt and cut, and then like he ends up with him. I don't know how he does it, but Barmore, yeah, he was another one expected to go in the first. They pick him up. Great value. Um, I still think it's a Dolphins division to lose. But the Patriots are on the
That's a
right.
hot take right there.
I think the Patriots are on the right track.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, I gave a few there. I feel good about it.
Yeah, yeah. I think the Dolphins can win that division if wait, you like the Dolphins over the Bills then in that division.
I like the Dolphins this year over the Bills.
Oh, that's a hot take too. Two glass breaks.
Somebody get a broom.
Yeah, no, I still like the Bills just because I don't know how Tua is going to be yet. I just don't know. Tua's got a lot to prove. This is his year too. I mean, they won't give him longer after this year. They won't give him after this year another chance. So I like the Bills still with Josh Allen and those guys.
I like Josh Allen more. That's
Yeah.
about where that stops.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so then we're on to the Raiders here, who we both were pretty hard on during the first round of this draft here. Oh wow.
I gave the Raiders a D. Just the offensive tackle of Leatherwood. Like, where did he even come from? Where did they get that? Like they could have easily got him in the second. That's my opinion on Leatherwood.
Oh yeah.
Then they spent
chance. They showed that on ESPN. He had a 60% chance of being there in round 2 where they picked.
Yeah, and if they liked him, like they could have fell back and then traded up a few spots if they felt like they were going to lose him that much. But it wasn't worth the first pick to me. I don't know. And then they spent 3 of their next 4 picks at safety, and it just felt like, you remember like in 2016 when the Browns took 5 wide receivers and we were just like, what the hell are we doing? Like, why are we taking all these wide receivers? Like, that's how they were kind of like doing the safety. Like, all right, one of these dudes got to hit. I'm not sure which one it's going to be. But just based on the Raiders, like history of drafting, I'm not optimistic. I give them a D.
Yeah.
And of those 5 receivers we took, I think Higgins is like the only one left. So,
right. Yeah. No, I remember that draft too. Every time the Goodell went to this, or actually, I guess late, it's somebody else going to the stage. But every pick we made, we were just in shock. Another receiver, then another receiver, then another receiver.
5 receivers. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. No. I've been real hard on Mayock and Gruden and with the Raiders, and I still am. Only reason I went C instead of D. I wanted to go D, but the only reason I went C is because I do think Leatherwood will be a starter. I think he'll start for them.
Oh, he'll start.
Yeah, he'll start. So they addressed the need there, even though they could have traded back. And then this is my other reason I go C is because I think they got a huge steal in Morig here from TCU, the safety at 43, who could have easily there. He was top 15 on a lot of people's big board. So
probably the best safety in the class.
Yeah. So I mean, they stole him there. I'm surprised that, they got something right. So and then the edge rusher Kuntz from Buffalo, he's supposed to be okay. And then the only other reason too that I wasn't happy they took 2 safeties here, but the reason I think they did it is because they don't have any. Like I think they signed Carl Joseph from us. And it's like he wasn't a starter for us, so they don't probably value him as a starter. So it's kind of like what we said before. They're probably just hoping one of these 2 safeties they take back to back can be their other starter. But
right,
yeah, I'm not a big fan of that strategy. I just think that they will get 2 or 3 starters out of the whole deal. So I gave him a C.
That's a fair take. A fair take.
Yeah, appreciate that. A sizzle. And then on we go here. We got the Baltimore Ravens, and I think they just had a down year on their draft. Looks like you got them a little lower than I do. You got them at a C. I got them at a B, but I'm usually giving them A's, I feel like, after every draft.
Right.
And go ahead and break down your C, and then I'll tell you what I have a little different.
Yeah. So I moved him up to a C plus. It's not on the list there, but I was just
Okay,
looking
C
at it and
plus.
really looking at it. Yeah. Rashard Bateman, I liked him as a wide receiver. I think he's a big target for Jackson. There needs a weapon, so I like that pick. That's probably my favorite pick from them. I just know he's a solid player. What was another one who kind of slipped? He was expecting to go somewhere around the middle of the first. So for them to get him where they did, he's a good edge. I like it. Just kind of looking at my list here. I like Ben Cleveland, offensive line, 6'6", 345. Sean Wade, he's going to be hit or miss. We liked him at Ohio State, but he was hit or miss there, and I'm not sure if he's going to do good in the league. I really think he's probably more of a bust than a boom. So that's my hot take. I'm just over the Ravens altogether. Like, I don't think Lamar Jackson's ever going to win a Super Bowl. I don't think he has like the accuracy to do it. And teams are like just ready for this dude. And I think like every season is going to get a little bit harder for them, especially come playoff time. They'll win their games in the regular season, but when defenses start playing just against your run, it ain't happening.
Yeah, that's actually a good take. I agree with that because I learned that the hard way this year in fantasy football, drafting him with my first overall pick. I mean, he goes crazy last year in fantasy football, elite, like all-time best quarterback, and just puts up crazy numbers compared to the number 2 quarterback. So it looked fine at the time, and then as the season went on, it's looked horrible. So I traded him. I ended up getting a trade and getting out of it, and ended up getting Aaron Rodgers. So he ended up being the what?
Hot takes on the daily.
Hot takes on the daily.
And I remember you calling me like 15 times last year, like every day, like, "Who you want to trade? You want to trade?"
Yeah, I did. I was trying to get rid of him so bad the whole year. I was bothering everybody. I'd be surprised if half those guys even come back. So yeah, I learned that. But I agree with you because I think they can plan for him. I don't think he's good enough thrower of the football to be able to go as far. And I think, like you said, each year people are going to be more prepared for that. So, and then I do think he needed a receiver. So I do have them at a B. So Bateman, I think that's a big need for them. Edge rusher was a big need for them. Awe from Penn State, who you text me, I believe you said future Hall of Famer, right?
Well, that's just because that's what the Ravens do. Yeah,
they take these guys. Yeah, and
they take these guys. They're great.
Great value there. And then Ben Cleveland, a lot of people are high on. I haven't heard anybody say anything bad about him in the 3rd round. So, getting a guard, getting a starting offensive lineman in a 3rd round of a draft is always a home run for me.
I mean, even in my description, they probably did deserve a B, maybe a B plus, but it's the Ravens. So you
got to hate on them a little bit.
I'm going to hate on them. I'm a hater. That's what it is.
Yeah. And then, the Ben Mason pick, even though, some people say he could be like a blocking tight end for them, they still have Mark Andrews last I checked. And I think he's pretty young. So yeah.
Oh, Ben Mason. Okay. From Michigan. Yeah. I was trying to think.
Yeah. Ben Mason from Michigan. Yeah. And then, like you said, with Sean Wade, I don't think we didn't really even see much from him at Ohio State. So
yeah, no, I mean, he came in as like a highly recruited, corner. It just didn't pan out for him. Right. And that's going to be kind of a system thing. Like if they get him in the right system, he's going to be all right. But
yeah, if any defensive system somebody can slide into and develop him, it'd be the Ravens. But
yeah, he fell around 5, where he probably deserved to go around 5.
Yeah, and I think it shows. I would assume that Ozzie Newsome is still he's supposed to be a consultant, so I'm sure they still have him either on the phone or in the war room with them during this draft.
Right.
He stepped away from the GM, but I'm sure he's still helping out some. But it kind of shows because there does seem to be a little bit of a drop off this year. Because the first three picks are fine, but they could have got a little bit more value. You think possibly there, but I think it was a good draft. I think it was good. So
okay,
we got him at a B. And then we got the Steelers. I'll let you go ahead. Well, you know what's this? Because I'll go first because you gave him the F. So actually, you go first since you gave him the F. Go ahead.
Okay.
Stomp on him.
This isn't gonna be pretty. Okay, it's just not. Okay. I really don't like these guys. All right. And if you grew up in Northeast Ohio and you root for the Steelers, then I don't like you either. I just want you to go play out on the train tracks. Okay. Um, I like Najee Harris. Okay. He's a good running back, but this offensive line was bad. Okay. And for me, if I'm the Squealers, I'm not taking him in the first. I'm just not doing it. I'm taking offensive line help. They need offensive line help if they're expecting for these holes to open up for these guys. Harris is going to get squished out there. I just don't love it. Biggest needs besides offensive line was their secondary, and they didn't touch their secondary until the 6th round pick. So
Looks
I
like
don't know.
7th.
Was it 7th? I
Yeah,
thought it was
7th.
6th, but
Yeah.
they pick up a guard and a tackle in the 3rd and 4th. That were like, I don't know, they might be decent, but it's like I don't love them. Big fart sounds for the Steelers. F. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm with you just because of the Steelers. I ended up going C minus just because I should have. I guess the more we talk about it, I maybe should have went D because I like Harris too. That was the only reason I went C minus. So, but I'm looking at the rest of their draft, and you're right. I mean, it's just trash.
Garbage, bro.
Get out the garbage.
Get up. So we got a little garbage can that we
We need to check if we got a little backup on the garbage truck here. Where's that at?
We need that
There we go.
button.
Here's one for him. Yeah, no, I'm with you though. It's trash. I really was. It's bad. I mean, I'm just looking at it right
It's
now.
bad, and nobody's happier about it than me.
Yeah.
Nobody's happier
Nobody's happier than who?
than me.
Oh yeah, I know, right? Yeah, no, Najee Harris is going to be good, and I think they really need a running back for that system. And then, but in round 2, I think they said this is the 2nd-rated tight end, but all the tight ends everybody knows, other than Pitts, is trash.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Tight ends
all right. But how often do the Steelers even use tight ends? I've never even seen them get a tight end in there that they use that often. I mean,
they historically haven't used him a lot. I think I don't know. I don't even know much about this tight end. Is he more of a blocker than he is a catcher?
Right, I think so. Yeah. I think so. Well, anyway, I think we both agree on this right here for them. Okay. All right, Steelers. So anyway, we're moving on here to the Texans. We got the Texans and the Titans here, and Houston Texans right here. We got in the middle. So they lost a couple of their draft picks due to getting Laramie Tunsil, and so they didn't have anything in the first 2 rounds. So Texans fans pretty bored on draft night.
Horrible.
Yeah, so I got C minus, you got D, so we're right by each other here. The reason C minus I went because why I went C minus is I think this tight end they say could be good. Brevin Jordan from Miami. Good value, I should say. Good value in the 5th round. Maybe. So I went, okay, maybe that's okay. Other than that, I mean, and they gave away their 1st and their 2nd for Tunsil, so that's Nico Collins is okay for Michigan. I've heard some good things. And then also this C minus will drop to a D if they keep Deshaun Watson, because why are you taking Davis Mills? You must be worried about Deshaun Watson situation, So
I would be.
Yeah. So that must be why they went there. But that's why and again, C minus is not good. So I'm not high on it at all. So
no, I went with a D, and I mean the thing about it is you have 0 picks in the first two rounds, and that's just because you're terribly run franchise. Like you did that to yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're just not smart.
I think there was another 1st thrown in there too for Tunsil. I think it was like 2 firsts and a 2nd or something crazy.
Oh yeah, dude. I don't know. They don't have picks for like the next 10 years. Automatic deduction for being stupid. Okay, so that's that. I don't know if Deshaun Watson's going to play or not play. It sounds like he might be out at least a season. Nico Collins, like I like his last name. Other than that, like I don't know much about him. He went to Michigan, so again, point deduction for that. I don't love it. Texans D.
Yeah, you gave a little for the Michigan guy. I get it.
Michigan guy gets up.
That is the most legit fart sound effect ever. Though. That's got to be the best one on there. So I'm gonna get one on the iPad too to keep it here, so I'm got to keep pulling stuff up. But so yeah, so that's a fair take. I mean, it just wasn't good again. And is Deshaun Watson coming back? Is he not? And so they just took. And I will say again, I think the reason when I broke this down, giving the C minus was assuming that he is because Davis Mills was the best quarterback on most people's boards at that point. So.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, yeah, we'll see, dude. And like, how many massage parlors did this guy have to hit up? Like, I just don't get it. Like, he was just traveling the country. Like,
it's a weird story, man. Like, that's got to be the weirdest story of all time for like a guy that has no record.
Stay close to home.
Right, and he has no record of doing anything like this, you know.
Oh yeah, up until this point, he was like the perfect model citizen.
Yeah. On to the Titans, the last team here. We're gonna break down, and then we'll be wrapping it up for today. We have first round pick. Let's go our grades first. I got a B plus. You got a C. So I'm higher on them than you. So why don't you go ahead and start us off here?
Yeah, I really just felt like this is going to be dependent on the health of Caleb Farley. So if he's healthy, there was no doubt that he had the talent. Health concerns are an issue. They pick him up at 22. If he can remain healthy, then I think this is a home run. Left tackle out of North Dakota State. He's solid. Monty Rice signing, I didn't really get. I just felt like they had bigger needs at linebacker there, then linebacker. He was just a stretch, you know, and they had Baron Browning still there on the board, Jabril Cox, just some guys that like, you know, Kuiper and just about everybody else felt were ranked higher. So I don't think they didn't have a horrible draft, but I'm just going to give them a C. C it is. We'll see how Caleb Farley turns out.
Yeah, and that's why I went B plus. I went a little bit higher here. I know he's got the injury history, but again, it all, like you said, the grade that we both gave will depend all on Farley. If he's a star or if he's not. If he's a star, like I think he'll be, if he's healthy, it's a B plus. I just hear so many good things about him. I know there was a lot of teams that were going to take him, even if, you know, they got to him at that point. He would have been a first round pick no matter what. I mean, would have we taken him at 26 over Newsome? I don't know. You might know more than I would. What's your take?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure where he was on that board.
Yeah. So that's a tough one there. I personally like that we ended up with Newsome though. I mean, because I think they're both going to be stars. I just think that Newsome will be. You don't have the health concerns with Newsome like you do with Farley. You still have some with Newsome. But Farley, you know, has back surgery, and then I think he had an Achilles or an ACL, one of those two. So he's got a long history. So we'll see how it is. But I actually like their next two picks. I liked the offensive tackle from North Dakota State. I think that fills a need for them. We got their guy Conklin last year, so they needed to fill that need there. And then I liked Monty Rice, but I think you were right. I think there were some people that had him higher, but from what I read, he's supposed to be good. And then also Molden here, all I read about him was how good and how much value they stole him here in the third round. So, and then they got receivers with their last couple picks, which they need. They need a receiver. So I was a little bit higher on it than you were. And, you know, and then they got a safety. They needed a safety, but they waited around 6, but they still got Kevin Byard there. So I think it's fine. Again, the B plus all depends on Farley. I mean, if he's healthy, I think he's a star. If he doesn't end up, I think he ends up. And then if he's not healthy, I think this whole entire draft grade would go down. So we'll see what happens. So, all right. Well, any other last minute, you know, overall takes on the draft? What do you think overall? No, maybe your biggest surprises, just any, you know.
Oh, who would have been my biggest surprises? I'm not sure, man. I think all those. I think JOK slipping to us in the second was probably the biggest surprise for me.
I agree.
Yeah. I just did not foresee that happening. The fact that the Patriots were able to get their quarterback of the future at 15 without having to move, that was another surprise. So I would say those two were probably the biggest surprises. What about you?
Yeah, no, I think those are good. I think the Raiders too, reaching like crazy in the first round, that surprised me. I shouldn't say it surprised me because Mayock, they're known to do that.
We did call that.
Yeah, so they're known to do that. So I wouldn't say that would surprise me. I guess it was more the biggest question mark there. And then I was actually just another takeaway from it would be I'm glad that whoever talked. Hold on one second. I'm gonna come back in. I'm just glad that whoever talked Kyle Shanahan into taking Trey Lance at 3 was smart enough to do that, because I would have taken him, as you see, you know, he wanted Mac Jones. Well, look where Mac Jones fell to, 15. So obviously he wasn't it sounds like Shanahan was the only one that was as high on him as they were. And that was the word coming out of there. So I think some of his guys got in his head, and I think that was good though, because I think Trey Lance will be a better player. And then also I will say that Justin Fields, I think that a couple teams really made a mistake passing on him, and I think that he'll pay. I think he's the most polished quarterback from Ohio State in a long time that looks the most pro-ready, accurate, got the mobility, the size. So
yeah, well, Ohio State,
I think the Broncos especially.
Ohio State does not have a good record of producing, you know, NFL quarterbacks that actually end up.
You're right, but you know what? You're right, but I hate that comparison. But I just don't agree with that comparison, because it's like we get a lot of top recruits at Ohio State. Everybody knows that. So we can't get one that's better than some others. Like I've just never been a big fan of that take. But you're right. We do.
That's a fair take. I'm just saying, like, we do get the top recruits. So like, why haven't we produced a quarterback yet that goes out and like crushes the world? So I'm hoping he can be that.
Yeah. All right, and just to let everybody know, we will be posting every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon on our channel, YouTube, and Facebook. And we're now going to be on TikTok as well. So follow us, subscribe. We appreciate all the love and support.
Kids will be happy.
Kids will be happy. All right, we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
It's KP&AC, our takes is like crazy. Hot takes on the daily, we might take your lady. This flow goes but no nose, bananas got boatloads. Big time we go hard like this promo. Karate kick, I'm Jet Li, one hand on that jet ski. Ice cold like Pepsi, you damn right we sexy. Opinions with no pity, in our bag with so many. Smart and so witty, got the swag of the city. Sports talk that talk. Best check your wall clock. We on time, every time. Got it all like Walmart. Oh shit, we might blow. Don't you know it's time to go? KP&AC, welcome to our show.